call the Cornstar. He's a pretty important purveyor of information, and I think it deserves to have some attention paid to it in a closer way. So again, what I'm doing is he's introducing himself in this first video and going over budget, and we're going to kind of hit the high spots here. One of the things that I think is important is he also highlights some of his failures, which to me is a really big thing. Most people don't ever highlight a failure, but this young man does. And so I thought it would be interesting for us to be able to sit back and listen to what happened.
So when I graduated college with all my degrees that show I know everything.
Oh no, we're embarrassed. We screwed up. Our warehouse is overloaded with survival food kits, but our mess is your gain. You win. Because right now you can score an exclusive deal on our best-selling 3-month food kit. Here's what happened. With all the worries of food shortages, supply disruptions, and all the craziness in the news, our 4 Patriots
I came back to revolutionize my family's farm. Year number 1, I made some accounting errors and I cost the farm an extra $10,000 in taxes. During year number 2, long story short, I tried a bunch of new things and our crops looked the worst out of anything that I've ever seen in my life. Now, luckily for us, that year a derecho blew through the state and our crops were standing so thinly the wind blew right through them and it did not blow them down onto the ground, and we had the best yields in the area. We got lucky there, but our crops looked ugly. Since the derecho in year 2 blew down our grain handling facility, we built a new one in year 3. And it got tied up in a lawsuit. Year number 4, I tried a bunch of new methods to fertilize our crops and I lost $50,000. And then in year 5, I overbooked $12,000 worth of seed and I accidentally sprayed $5,000 worth of extra product on a few fields. So over the last 5 years, due to farm decisions that I have personally made, I have lost over $100,000, and frankly, I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad these things happened to me not because I like losing money, but because it shortened my learning curve. Dave Ramsey taught me to budget, so I had a try things budget. So while some of my mistakes were due to inexperience and lack of due diligence, some of them were calculated risks that just drew the short end of the stick. So while these things happened and we lost money out of it, what we learned was 100 times more valuable. Year 1, when I made the $10,000 accounting error, well, guess who now triple checks every single penny that passes through the farm? Year number 2, when we had the ugly crop, do you know how embarrassing that was? Since then, I have spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours researching how to have an excellent crop, so that way that will never happen again. Year number 3, the grain bin site fiasco. This is still under litigation, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I will say this. I do know what I will do differently next time. Year number 4 is when I lost $50,000 trying the new fertilizing methods. This was just drew the short end of the stick. It was a calculated risk, but I did learn I need to be more patient and I need to learn how to double down on the fundamentals before I start trying to do complicated things. Year 5 is when I over-ordered and over-applied inputs. Because of this, records are now triple checked with multiple people. So with all these mistakes that I've made, how can I have the least bit of credibility? My grandpa sacrificed an easy life so he could give us the opportunity to have one. I watched my family work for over 2 decades, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, living grain check to grain check, going deeper and deeper into debt in hopes that our family's farming legacy could continue on. This amount of blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice is something that I take personally. I'm not a college research professor using donor money. I'm not a company trying to push a product. I'm not a politician trying to get votes. I am a 26-year-old farmer who is both financially and mentally committed to seeing the well-being of my family's heritage succeed.
I'd like to also mention that not only is he a 26-year-old farmer with those ideals, he's one of the few We're losing farmers left, right, and center. We're losing family farms that have existed. His has existed for 5 generations. The farm that I have family in has existed for over 5 generations. This is a huge problem of losing farmers. If you think that, oh, gee, it's horrible that all these other methods of creating food, it's all owned by such and such a company or such and such a country or such and such a multi-billionaire. Guess what? You know why they can do that? Because these guys, these little farmers, and like it or not, 2,000 acres is considered a little farm. These little farmers, they can't make it. And why can't they make it? Because they're losing people. They're losing people just because to a lot of kids, farming is uninteresting. This is one of the good ones, it seems. So why don't we continue?
My only agenda is the truth. I just ask one thing from you. I think it's really important for the world to know where our food comes from and what it takes to produce it. So I ask that you please share this video.
Alrighty. I'm going to stop this one here. We're going to get at least one more video out of this first one. I thought it was really important to establish who Cole is. I left a bunch out because I'm not going to go over the entire video. I deeply encourage everybody to go over. I left a link in the description. Go to his YouTube page. Go watch his video. Get out in front. Tell me if you agree or disagree, what your thoughts are. Even if you don't know anything, you may be from New York and don't have and routinely kill the cactus that you've had on your kitchen table for ever, and now that your cat uses it as a urination device. Let me know what you think, how you feel, and we can discuss it and keep moving on. But I can tell you, what I can tell you for a fact is what this kid is doing is what small farmers and like medium farmers are going through. They're trying to feed us. We're not backing them up.